Hi, my name is Pete Martin. I'm a specialist recruitment trainer based in Brisbane, Australia. You're about to see just one of a series of videos designed to help recruitment consultants, experienced or otherwise, help build their businesses and make more placements. Time, or the lack of it, can be a recruiter's worst enemy, and these videos will help you run your desk more efficiently and ultimately make you a better recruiter. I hope you find what you're about to see useful, and if you have any questions or would like to know more about how I help consultants just like you bring more success to their business, please visit my website at www.glimmermc.com.au. Your top 100 candidate network is one of the most powerful systems you can put into place as a recruitment consultant. I guarantee you, if you put this simple yet extremely effective system in place, you will make more placements this quarter and every quarter for the rest of your recruitment career. And moreover, it's one of the most professional and powerful marketing tools you can use when speaking to prospective clients. Let's think about some background to this system. How many candidates do you interview every quarter? Out of those candidates, how many of them do you actually place? There's usually a huge difference in these particular figures. The candidates that you don't place, where do they go? What do you do with them? Realistically, they generally end up going into your database, or rather your company's database, which in many cases tends to be unsearchable and generally out of date. A horrible thing to say, but it's very, very true across the industry. What we're talking about is producing a specific database for you, and your industry that's going to be powerful and moreover help you make more placements. Okay, let's go back to some of the figures we just started talking about. I'm going to assume here that the people that you interview, you have already phone screened. And realistically, if you've got your phone screening right, you know that the people that you interview are top candidates. You know, they score at least 7 out of 10 on the placeable candidate scale. So let's just say you interview 7 candidates per week. In a 13-week quarter, obviously you actually interview 91 candidates. Out of those 91 candidates, if you have a good quarter, you'll probably place 10 of them. That leaves 81 candidates that you haven't placed. This, for some ridiculous reason, and I don't like to work with pie in the sky figures here, so let's just say for some reason 21 of those particular candidates are unplaceable. That leaves you with 60 good candidates and probably over 60 hours that if you don't do something with those candidates, you've literally wasted that time. We just mentioned 60 candidates per quarter. So obviously over the space of 2 quarters, you're going to build up this top 100 candidate network. Now I know the figures come to 120, but again, not wanting to use pie in the sky figures, let's say for instance that 20 of those candidates again are, unplaceable, or they, migrate or something along those lines. So let's just say we're working with our top 100 candidates. Now, based on the phone screenings that we've been doing before, we've already established that they're highly placeable candidates. Being highly placeable candidates, how good would it be if we could stay in touch with these particular candidates? And I don't mean just stick them in a database and send an email to them every now and again. How powerful would it be to stay in touch with these candidates? How professional would it be to stay in constant contact with these candidates? How profitable will it be to stay in touch with some of the top 100 candidates in your industry? Hopefully you're nodding your head and agreeing that it's an extremely powerful tool. And that realistically is what the top 100 candidate network is all about. Staying in touch with the top 100 candidates in your industry. How powerful will that be when you can go to your client and talk about how you are already in touch with 100 of the perfect candidates that they're looking for to fill the positions that they've got vacant. Very powerful stuff. As I just said, we're not talking about sending these guys an email to stay in touch. I'm talking about regular contact by phone, building a solid business relationship on a regular basis, speaking to these guys, just a catch-up call. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're not particularly trying to headhunt them. You're just staying in contact with the professional people within your network. Sounds like a lot of effort, right? Sounds like a lot of work. Absolutely not. And this is what makes this system so powerful and so simple. Think about it. 100 people. Let's stay in contact with them. We're not phoning them every week. We're just staying in contact regularly. Let's just say we stay in contact with each of these candidates every 10 weeks. That's 4 or 5 times a year. Not massive, not over the top, just staying in regular contact with someone 4 or 5 times a year. They will begin to look at you as their recruitment consultant. You will build a professional relationship with them, and when they do think about moving, when they do think about changing jobs, you'll be the person front of mind that they'll come to to help them find their next role. What does it take? 2 telephone calls per day. That's all this system is about. You make 2 telephone calls per day, you will stay in contact with the top 100 candidates in your network. Think about it and just do the maths. We're talking about staying in contact every 10 weeks. 2 telephone calls a day, 5 days in a working week. 10 calls per week. Every 10 weeks you stay in contact with 100 people. The most simple system you could possibly implement, but extremely powerful. This is the ultimate way of staying in contact with the passive candidates within your industry. Let's just do a little more maths. How often do good candidates change their jobs? Realistically, it's not like the old days where my father, wanted to stay in his job for 25 years so he could get that gold watch at the end of it. Realistically, even good candidates change their jobs on a semi-regular basis. Even good candidates, on average, probably stay in their particular roles for around that 4-year mark. Okay, so good candidates stay in their roles for around 4 years. Okay, so out of your top 100 professional network, there's 100 people in your network. So if they're changing jobs every 4 years, that means that 25 of your top 100 candidates will change jobs every year. How many of those people would actually use your services? Think about it. You're staying in contact with these people. You're speaking to them 4 or 5 times a year. You're front of mind as far as recruitment is concerned. Out of those 25 people, how many of them do you think that you could place? How many of them will call you when they need the services of a recruitment consultant? Again, let's not talk pie in the sky figures. Let's say, for instance, out of those 25 of your network that are going to find themselves a new job this year, let's say half of them, more than half of them, find themselves a job, find them through their own personal network or through a friend or whatever it may be. And let's just say there's 12 left. Surely you could place 12 of those candidates. But again, let's just say that you luck out. Let's just say it's not a great result. Let's say you've placed half of those. This system will virtually guarantee you 6 extra placements every single year. You know how much your average placement fee is in your field. So take that average placement fee, times it by 6. You know what your general commission is. Times that by those figures and see how much extra money you can make. See how many extra placements you can make just by making 2 phone calls per day. That's why I said to you, it's powerful stuff. You can guarantee yourself 6 extra placements every single year by making 2 telephone calls in a day. That's the personal gain, of course, the extra placements for you, extra dollars in your pocket, which is fantastic. But also think about how much more professional you will look. Think about when you can go and talk to a new client, a prospective client, when you can talk to them and tell them that you are already in contact on a first name basis with over 100 of the top candidates in your industry. The chances are, when they give you the specifications of the particular role, there may be someone within your network already that you can fill that position with. And if there's not, I guarantee you, out of those 100 people that you're speaking to, one of them will know somebody that can fill that particular role. That's what networking is all about. That's what recruitment's all about. Hopefully you can see how powerful this very, very simple system is. And hopefully you can go back to your desks and implement it into your own business. I appreciate the subject we talked about today is just a small part of the many things we do as recruitment consultants in the marketplace today. But let's put it into some perspective. If you can take just one small part at a time and improve your skills in that area, you will continue to grow your business and become the best recruitment consultant you can be. Thanks for listening, and keep an eye out for other videos in this series.